And welcome back. And we are now in part 3 of this session's New Comics Bitches! So, let's move along. Okay, so we are looking at Uncanny X-Men #1. Okay, now, for a Team Cyclops guy, that's me, it seems that Team Wolverine had a much stronger start. Now this is a good start. Believe me, it's really good. It's a really good issue, very strong, really good art. Kieran Gillen, however you pronounce that dude's name, Carlos Pacheco doing the art. I mean, this is really terrific stuff. But it wasn't as good as Jason Aaron's Wolverine and the X-Men. So, I mean, there does have to be a little bit of a great, there does have to be some comparison here because, these are the new two big, kind of flagship titles of this current X-Men, whatever, this X-Universe, whatever. But, we have here, is that Wolverine and the X-Men was all about kind of setting the stage, and Uncanny X-Men here is more about knowing that the stage is already set and going from there. And it's not a great jumping on book for people who are looking to kind of get back into or get into the X-Men. This is, again, because it's a #1, people automatically think, well, this is, and the whole Regenesis thing that's going on, that this is going to be a good jumping on point for people who are new to the book. Well, people who are new to the book are still going to be like, what the hell is going on here? If I hadn't been reading what's come before, I would have no idea. If I didn't know about some of these characters, I'd have no idea what's going on in this book. So, I mean, it exists as kind of, that kind of exists as a bit of a falsehood, but I don't think they ever really made that claim that these would be good jumping on books. But basically what Scott here does, and which is really cool, is that they're establishing themselves. He's now calling this team, which is, it's him, it's Emma, it's Namor, it's Hope, it's, not Hope, it's, I can't remember. Is it? No, I think it's Hope. And Magic, and Danger, and Magneto, and Colossus, and all and everybody who's kind of going on. Everything. He calls them the Extinction Team. Storm too. I forgot to mention Storm. He's now calling them the Extinction Team. But what he wants to do, essentially here, is he wants to establish something that is a little bit of a threat. That the X-Men will still kick ass and take names on the side of everything that is right. But they are kind of meant to be a little scary, because as long as they're out there doing their thing very publicly and sometimes destructively, to let them know that these are, these people are essentially walking weapons of mass destruction. With all of the power that they all have, it's a little crazy. But he wants that. He wants them out there. Because the more that they're out there, the more focus is taken away from the school, from what Wolverine is doing. So, I mean, he has established this idea of the Extinction Team not out of spite, for what Wolverine is trying to do, but ultimately for what is the right thing for this team of X-Men to do, that they are the ones to take care of the world-beating threats. Now, of course, the world-beating threat in here is Mr. Sinister, a longtime favorite of my, he's a favorite, but he's not a favorite because I like how over the years that Nathaniel Essex has been fucking with Scott Summers and his whole persona and everything like that. And and that's cool stuff. I like how they're going to have the X Club, which is going to be the science team. But yeah, I mean, so it is Hope. I'm sorry. So yeah, you've got Cyclops, Storm, Emma, Magneto, Namor, Colossus, Hope, Danger, and Magic as like the main team. You got your street team of Dazzler, Boom Boom. Again, it has this little lineup, like Wolverine and X-Men did, of who everybody is and what their purpose is here. Like the New Mutants, and you've got Gen Hope, and then you've got the recruits, and so I mean, this is again, this is really interesting stuff. And of course, you've got the letter at the back here, a letter to humanity from Scott Summers. And it's and he says even in here, if mutants cannot be accepted, it is not a world worth fighting for. So I mean, it's he intends to protect humanity, but he also intends to protect mutants from humanity. He's basically he's showing the world their ass and said, hey, come and get it. Okay, so I mean, that is really cool. But just from a storytelling standpoint, Wolverine and the X-Men #1 was stronger, but from an action standpoint and from an interest standpoint, this is really cool because, and we've got some pretty shocking moments here. I didn't know about Colossus kind of merging with Juggernaut, so that in and of itself is pretty neat. So, anywho, but just again, it's a really good issue, just not as strong as I would have liked this to have been coming out of the gate, and especially on the heels of Wolverine and the X-Men, because I want Cyclops to win. I'm Team Cyclops, and I don't care who knows it. So, moving along, we have Red Lanterns #3. Like I said, it's the only book that has the word lantern in the DC universe that I'm even remotely following, because this is really interesting stuff. Peter Milligan and Ed Benes, who is such a he's such a great artist, and he draws like the world's sexiest women. I mean, even this cover is kind of creepy and like icky as it is. It's still kind of fucking hot, at least to me. Maybe I'm just sick that way. But basically, this is kind of the origin tale of Bleeze, who is her, the sexy, red stockinged Red Lantern. She was, and basically this is her tale of, how she was this kind, basically, she's been kind of this, rage, kill, destroy. But she is thrown into the glutinous liquids of Ismalt, the planet of the Red Lanterns, and her brain essentially is healed. She's given back her intelligence. So we not only get her origin story, but we get her revenge that she wants to take. But her revenge is not quite as it's more deft, and it's a little bit more long-lasting than the revenge that Atrocitus would see done. And he's not too pro on that idea. Especially how it seems that by helping her to regain her intelligence, he's actually maybe created more of a monster than he himself can handle. And it will be a force that will ultimately contest him for leadership of the Red Lanterns. So, I mean, it has a very kind of Dr. Frankenstein and the creature kind of, dichotomy going on here. But, also the synergy that they have. So, I mean, it's, again, it's telling, I think because it's telling a tale of an unknown entity, of the, of all the lanterns. And if they do a Blue Lanterns book or, whatever, it probably won't be as interesting because these are, I think, the most interesting guys in the whole kind of Green Lantern universe as far as the spectrums of light are concerned, at least currently, anyway. So again, really good stuff, and glad to see it. It's really coming together here. And Ed Bennett's, he can draw a hot woman, and he can draw. It does have that weird kind of Earth sub story about the two grandchildren or whatever the hell they were, and they're filled with rage, but it's only like it only has like so that's my only real problem with the book is that that's given like one page, and it's like I don't get it, so I don't know what's going on there. Okay, Avengers 1959, number 3. This is still a really good book. This issue left me a little bit like, huh? I'm not really sure what's kind of going on in some parts of it. But essentially, we're dealing here with, Howard Chaykin creating these, this Avengers team, and that, one of them is, not one of them, but, this guy, this Sydenham, Jeffrey Sydenham character, who seems to be, he was maybe either a Nazi sympathizer or a Nazi spy, and he didn't really hold too much with the Fuhrer's, beliefs, and ultimately, he's part of like his occult presence, and he regards the Reds, the Russians, as these things that are subhuman. They all deserve to die. So that is something that certain Americans very much believed, that in the 50s, at the kind of beginning of the Cold War, the real Cold War era, that this was again it threatens the very existence of the human spirit. The whole idea of the Bolsheviks, the communists. And so this guy ultimately, this Sydenham guy, he made a deal with Dormammu to get this occult power. And that, of course, then we have more aquatic battles, involving the Avengers, and, these great, again, subversive names, like Axis Annie and Madame Mauser and Fräulein Fatal and Penny Panzer. It's just, these great, silly, screwed up names that, it's perfect for someone like Howard Chaykin to do. Because, in all of his books, no matter how chaste they may seem, there is that undercurrent of perversion, of kink, and of kind of not eroticism, but a little bit sexy, and just ultimately it's like he is he's always inserting these little things that are just not quite that like kind of kid-friendly, and not that this is a kid-friendly book by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely kinkier and more subversive than most of the other Marvel titles that are out there right now. Anyway, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with part 4, because, like I said, we've got a lot of stuff to go through this week. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.